Greetings. Now, in part two of this minimum wage discussion video, let me enlighten you about how people don't understand the effect of automation on minimum wage. You will see some articles in the Republican media about how California making the minimum wage in certain fast food joints higher, $20 an hour, was going to accelerate automation. However, remember that all technological products have a worldwide market assessment. Therefore, a high minimum wage in one location, even a very high GDP area like California, is not going to necessarily cause a tipping point of AI innovation. The use of a certain AI has to replace human labor in enough of a widespread set of locations so that the addressable market size is large enough for that AI to manifest. AI ultimately does not exist just to replace one person. It is to lower the cost of an entire pool of labor that's being done worldwide. How much each person is paid is of secondary importance. The total pool is what is of primary importance. That is why an AI to replace accountants is going to happen sooner than an AI that replaces CEOs, even though CEOs make more than accountants. All the accountants in the world combined make more than the CEOs in the world combined. Plus, it is a simpler task to automate accounting. That being said, the band in which outsourcing and offshoring of jobs occurred for lower labor costs, offshoring jobs to low factory wage countries in order to get lower cost goods, outsourcing jobs to India because the labor over there costs 1/3 or 1/4 what it does in the United States. This was a big political narrative in the 2003-2004 area, as though the entire United States was going to be hollowed out by jobs being outsourced to India. But what happens is that when AI can automate a certain task, it suddenly flies through all of the cost structures. Whether a certain task has a certain wage in the United States and in a lower wage country it is 1/4 that, it flies through that 4x differential right away. By the time AI is good at something, it is much cheaper than any human would want to do that task for. So high wage versus low wage country does not matter that much in terms of AI automation. So this higher minimum wage narrative that the US left tries to keep pushing, that the minimum wage should be higher, $20 an hour, $22, $25 an hour, as though that money appears out of nowhere, is very misguided, but they will get away with it for longer than you think because higher minimum wage laws in certain deep blue democratic states, such as California, is too small a percentage of the world pool of that particular labor. But then when the tipping point occurs, it eliminates someone doing that task for $20 an hour, as well as someone doing that for $2 an hour. One thing that's going to greatly increase the efficiency of my YouTube production is that editing of videos through AI and sound improvement through AI has suddenly become very inexpensive from tools that were not that sophisticated even 6 or 7 months ago. People used to pay $40 to $80 for a video like this to be edited. And a lot of the big YouTubers, such as Graham Stefan, he was already earning several $1 million a year from his YouTube channel, but still editing the videos himself because it's not that he couldn't pay to have someone else do it, but he wanted to be the one making all the decisions and he did not find an editor that could do this quite as well as he could. But now the automated AI can do this for almost free. A YouTuber doing their own editing, such as myself, could save 20 hours a month for a software like Gling that costs $10 a month. So that is a huge bargain, but I'll talk about that in other videos as well. But back to minimum wage, automation happens at scale and is borderless, and therefore elimination of human jobs from that is automatic, but then entrepreneurship rises exponentially because a certain task has become inexpensive. People charging $40 to edit a 10-minute video, that is gone now, but now there'll be many more videos produced, including educational videos that help people upskill themselves more. And that is why what is needed is not a minimum wage law where you're trying to extract more from a small employer that may not have deep pockets. A pizza parlor with 8 employees is not in a position to pay people 30% more because of the minimum wage being higher. The solution in my Atom publication, now Third Millennium Economics, of the Atom dues, where the mandatory and exponential quantitative easing that the world has to do just to offset technological deflation that has to be diverted to people as a secondary independent safety net. And that is why that is the only solution for this sort of automation-driven loss of employment. In this video up here, you can also see the upgrade paradox as an idea. The upgrade paradox is one where the cost of even keeping up with technology is becoming more and fewer households can even keep up, so they fall behind. The atom dues, or now just the third millennium economic dues, keeps up with that because that grows at a rate of 16 to 24% a year, because that is the speed at which money printing has to rise exponentially just to offset technological deflation. Now, for a year or two, it can seem like the coupling has broken, but ultimately, all technology is deflationary in nature, because if you believe that automation is taking away jobs, you must also believe that there's deflation inherent to that, because automation will only be used when it is much cheaper than a human for doing the same job. And therefore, the loop between that and the universal safety net, dues, direct universal exponential stipend, has to be closed. So this minimum wage debate is many decades behind the time, and the monetization of automation for the benefit of average workers is where the debate has to go. We're in the 2020s now, and we are having a 1960s, 1970s debate around minimum wage. And that is why politics and government is so far behind the needs of the modern economy and challenges of the modern world. If you like this type of content, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, and thank you very much for watching.